The path to greatness is paved not with ease, but with deliberate difficulty. In a world that often whispers sweet nothings of comfort and instant gratification, I challenge you today to silence those seductive sirens and confront the raw, unvarnished truth. True transformation begins where your comfort zone ends. Look around you. What do you see? A society mesmerized by convenience, a culture obsessed with the path of least resistance. We've been lulled into a dangerous slumber, convinced that ease equals progress, that comfort breeds contentment. But I ask you, is it truly contentment you feel, or a gnawing emptiness, a quiet desperation for something more? You stand at a crossroads. One path, well-trodden and seemingly effortless, leads to the predictable, the mediocre, the unfulfilled potential that haunts the dreams of so many. The other, shrouded in the mists of effort and uncertainty, promises a kingdom of achievement, a life forged in the fires of discipline and purpose. Which will you choose? Have you ever looked in the mirror and seen a shadow of the person you know you were meant to be? Have you felt the sting of regret, the bitter taste of opportunities squandered, because the climb felt too steep, the effort too great? This is not an accusation. It is an awakening. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom, gently nudging you, then perhaps not so gently, into the recognition that you are capable of so much more than you have allowed yourself to believe. We are bombarded by messages that tell us to seek the easy way out. Online gurus promise instant success, quick fixes, and a life devoid of struggle. They peddle a dangerous illusion, a spiritual opium that dulls your senses and saps your will. Do you truly believe that anything of lasting value, anything truly transformative, can be achieved without effort, without struggle, without the willingness to embrace the very things you currently shrink from? The truth, my friend, is a stark and uncomfortable one. The muscle of your will atrophies with disuse. Every time you choose the easy path, every time you avoid the challenging task, every time you succumb to the siren song of procrastination, you weaken the very core of your being. You dim your inner light and you diminish your potential, but there is a spark within you, a flicker of divine fire that yearns to be fanned into a roaring inferno. It is the desire for growth, for mastery, for a life lived on your own terms. Are you ready to truly ignite that flame? Are you ready to shed the shackles of complacency and step into the power that is rightfully yours? The time for excuses is over. The era of comfortable mediocrity is ending. The call to awaken is echoing through the deepest chambers of your soul. Do you hear it? Do you feel the urgency in your bones, the yearning for something more than what you have settled for? This is not about being a masochist or seeking pain for its own sake. This is about strategic discomfort, about intentionally placing yourself in situations that demand more of you, that force you to stretch, to grow, to discover reserves of strength you never knew you possessed. It is about understanding that the greatest victories are won not in comfort, but in the crucible of challenge. Now, let us speak of the revelation, the fundamental principle that separates the truly successful from those who merely dream of success. It is a truth as old as time, yet perpetually overlooked by those who seek the golden fleece without traversing the dragon's lair. This principle, illuminated by the wisdom of countless masters, including the profound insights of Napoleon Hill, is this: your mind is a fertile garden, and it will produce whatever you consistently plant within it, be it the weeds of avoidance or the mighty oaks of deliberate difficulty. Think of your mind not as a static entity, but as a dynamic, infinitely powerful mechanism, constantly receiving and processing information. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold, every emotion you cultivate acts as a seed, and just like a garden, if left untended, it will become overgrown with weeds. In our context, those weeds are the ingrained habits of choosing ease, the fear of failure, the self-doubt that whispers, "You can't." The revelation is that you possess the power to consciously choose the seeds you plant. You have the power to cultivate a mindset that not only tolerates difficulty, but embraces it, that seeks out challenges as opportunities for growth. This is not mere positive thinking. It is positive action, directed by focused thought. Consider the athlete who pushes past the burning in their muscles, the artist who toils for countless hours on a single stroke, the entrepreneur who faces rejection after rejection, yet perseveres. Do you believe their success came from avoiding discomfort? No. Their success was forged in the fire of deliberate difficulty. They understood that the very act of doing what is hard builds an internal fortitude, a mental resilience that is far more valuable than any fleeting victory. Napoleon Hill spoke of the definite chief aim, a clear, unwavering purpose that guides your every action. When your chief aim is significant, when it truly ignites your soul, then the difficulties along the path transform from obstacles into necessary steps. They become markers of progress, signposts indicating that you are on the right track, that you are pushing against the boundaries of your current limitations. The secret lies in understanding that your brain is wired for efficiency. It will always seek the path of least resistance. This is a survival mechanism, a legacy from our ancient ancestors. But in the modern world, this very mechanism can become our undoing if we allow it to dictate our choices unchecked. The revelation is in the conscious override. It's in telling your brain, no, not the easy way, not today. Today, we choose growth. Today, we choose the challenge. This is not about brute force. It's about strategic retraining. It's about creating new neural pathways, new habits of thought and action that prioritize long-term gain over short-term comfort. How do you do this? By consistently exposing yourself to what is difficult, in small, manageable doses, and then gradually increasing the intensity. This is the principle of progressive overload, applied not just to physical muscles, but to the muscles of your mind and will. Start small. Choose one difficult thing you've been avoiding, a challenging conversation, a daunting task at work, a new skill you've been putting off. Commit to tackling it, not perfectly, but consistently. Each time you push through the initial discomfort, each time you resist the urge to quit, you are reinforcing a new belief system within yourself. I am capable of doing hard things. This process builds self-efficacy, the unwavering belief in your own ability to succeed. It transforms abstract desires into concrete actions, and concrete actions into undeniable results. The more you do what is difficult, the easier it becomes, not because the task itself changes, but because you change. You become stronger, more resilient, more capable. The fear of difficulty is often worse than the difficulty itself. It's the anticipation, the stories we tell ourselves about how hard it will be, how we might fail. The revelation is that true failure lies not in falling down, but in refusing to get up, in refusing to even try. This principle extends beyond mere tasks. It applies to your character, to your relationships, to your spiritual growth. Are you willing to have the difficult conversations that foster deeper connection? Are you willing to confront your own biases and limitations to achieve true self-mastery? Are you willing to do the internal work, the uncomfortable introspection that leads to profound personal transformation? This is not a quick fix. This is a lifelong commitment to growth, to expansion, to becoming the fullest expression of your potential. It requires patience, persistence, and an unwavering belief in your own capacity for greatness. Now hear my command. This is not a request. It is an imperative. The time for passive dreaming is over. The hour of decisive action has struck. You will no longer outsource your power to comfort. You will no longer allow the seductive whispers of ease to dictate your destiny. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, and for your own sake you must accept it, is to actively seek out and embrace deliberate difficulty. Here is your immediate charge. First, identify the area of your life where you most consistently choose ease over effort. Is it your health, your career, your relationships, your personal development? Be brutally honest with yourself. This is where your greatest growth lies. Second, choose one single uncomfortable action within that area. Just one. It could be exercising for 10 minutes when you feel tired, making that difficult phone call you've been dreading, dedicating an hour to learning a new skill, or waking up 15 minutes earlier than usual. The key is that it must feel genuinely difficult for you. Third, commit to doing that one difficult thing every single day for the next 30 days. No excuses, no compromises, just consistent, deliberate effort. Fourth, observe the transformation. Pay close attention to how you feel, not just physically but mentally and emotionally. Notice the surge of self-respect, the quiet confidence that blossoms within you. Witness how the very act of doing what is difficult reconditions your mind, expanding your sense of what is possible. This is not a theoretical exercise. It is a practical application of ancient wisdom. It is the crucible in which your true potential will be forged. Understand this. The world does not reward those who shrink from challenges. It elevates those who stand firm in the face of adversity, those who see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as stepping stones to greater heights. Your legacy will not be defined by the comfort you accumulated, but by the challenges you conquered. Your true strength will not be measured by the burdens you avoided, but by the weights you lifted, the mountains you climbed. This is your moment to reclaim your power. This is your opportunity to rewrite your story. This is your chance to silence the inner critic and unleash the dormant titan within. I command you to embrace the grind. I command you to seek the struggle. I command you to choose the path less traveled, for that is where your greatest treasures lie. Feel the fear, acknowledge the resistance, but then act anyway. For every time you choose difficulty, you chip away at the limitations you've placed upon yourself. You build the impenetrable armor of resilience. You forge the unshakable sword of your will. Do you remember that deep yearning we spoke of at the beginning, that whisper of a greater self? It is calling to you now, not from a distant mountaintop, but from the depths of your own being. It asks you to rise, to strive, to become. This is not just about doing difficult tasks. It is about becoming a difficult-to-defeat human being. It is about cultivating an indomitable spirit that looks at adversity not with dread, but with a quiet, knowing smile. The future you dream of, the life you aspire to live, the person you are destined to become, they are all on the other side of deliberate difficulty. Now go forth, command your will, conquer your comfort, and build the extraordinary life you were always meant to live. If this message has resonated with your soul, if it has ignited a fire within you, then I implore you, do not let this inspiration fade. Share this truth with those who are adrift, with those who are longing for a way out of their own comfort traps. For in sharing wisdom, we amplify its power and illuminate the path for others. Subscribe to this channel and join a community dedicated to building unshakable resilience and unlocking limitless potential. The unexamined life is not worth living. The unchallenging life is not worth having.